We started off day 2 just like day 1, with a massage at the Mandara Spa in SM North EDSA. After that, we had some Vietnamese food at this restaurant. The location is near the Mandara Spa, Muji, and Decathlon if you're on the east side of the mall. We had some fried rolls to start with, as well as some Vietnamese coffee. It's pretty strong if you've never had it. I ended up getting the classic chicken pho, and this is some bún bò Huế, which is a spicy pork soup. We topped that off with some spring rolls. After that, we headed to the Quezon Memorial Circle. We're heading here through SM North EDSA. It's a pretty large mall with multiple buildings, and I actually haven't seen them all despite having been there for a month plus, because there's simply a lot of stores here. And you can see we're just kind of passing by the back streets. The front of the mall here is facing the light rail station terminal and also another mall. As you might know, Manila is a crowded city, and that means its traffic can get pretty crazy. You can see some of the traffic starting to pile here. This vehicle in front of us is a jeepney. This particular one ends at SM North EDSA. It's a smaller type of privately owned bus. Jeepneys are common because many of the roads in Manila can't support a full-size bus, especially on the residential areas. This is a mall in front of SM North EDSA called Trinoma. We went there last year. It's also a really large and nice mall. It has some nice eateries on the terrace areas. There's also a second mall here called Vertis North, which is by Ayala Land, and we'll be visiting that later. So we're at the Quezon City Memorial here. They have this display up for Christmas. It's like some kind of tunnel made out of Christmas lights. We're now approaching the main plaza of the circle, which has a fountain in the middle. It's a popular play area for kids and families, and you can see quite a few still here despite it being Christmas Eve. So we're at the Quezon City Memorial, getting closer to the actual memorial itself. Currently, there is a museum for the ex-president's cars here. On the left side, there is a food park. Basically, it's a bunch of stalls here, street food. Here's some drone shots of what the area looks like. If you're curious, I do have a full-length video on my channel. Since it was Christmas Eve, there weren't too many people here, just because most people were probably heading home already. The memorial itself is named after President Manuel Luis Quezon, who was the first president of the Philippines while under American rule. So not only is there a circle in the center of the memorial, the entire memorial park is also a giant circle, and it forms a roundabout for traffic to go around in Quezon City. I'm heading up to the Quezon City Memorial. There's supposed to be a museum here, but it is Christmas Eve and it's also Sunday, so there's a high chance it's either closed or offices are altered. And I see the closed sign here. That's unfortunate. It's supposed to be a museum of the president's cars. That would have been pretty cool to see. Yep, looking closed. So, given that it's closed, check out something else here and then maybe head to University of Philippines campus. There's an outdoor market here, some music going in the distance. Probably end up checking that out. So this is the market. They got some random street food here. Fruit shake, coffee. So we're on our way to the University of Philippines Diliman campus. We're done here at the memorial. Not a bad day, I think, day trip. Just the food court. So we're done here, heading towards the grab pickup point. Again, not a bad way to spend an afternoon in Manila, especially if you want to see something outdoors. So here in these shots, you can see us going around the rotunda or roundabout, and you can see the street view of the traffic flowing kind of around the park area. Here's a first look at the UP Diliman campus. The building in front here is the main entrance to the campus. We went here because I have a few cousins that went to the school, and they recommended checking out this particular area of the school called the Sunken Garden. There weren't too many people here. It's Christmas Eve, so we were mostly just checking out the area. You can see in some of these shots the campus is just covered with trees. It kind of reminds me of my own campus. I went to University of California, Irvine, and it's also covered by trees as well. I spotted this one area which looked pretty interesting, but it was pretty far away. It was kind of like a pond, and then it was kind of near the main entrance building. After the Sunken Garden, we took a jeepney to get around to Oblation, which is this famous statue in the front of the campus. It was kind of killing two birds with one stone for us, since we wanted to try a jeepney, but we didn't necessarily want to go too far, especially in Manila traffic. And so we just went to the front of the campus with this one. I like cycling in Singapore, and it was interesting to see there were a lot of cyclists on the campus grounds here. Makes sense because, on a weekend there probably aren't as many cars, and so it's a nice place without heavy traffic to cycle. Here's a few shots of the Oblation area. If you're interested, I do have another video with more shots as well from the area. We're heading now out of the campus. This road leads out towards Quezon City. So UP, or University of the Philippines, is a system of universities, and Diliman is one of the campuses. It's considered a very good school in the Philippines, and a lot of students from around the Philippines aspire to go here. You can see it's in the middle of Quezon City, so it's a really busy area. So as a student, if you need to go anywhere in Manila, it's just at your doorstep. Afterward, we went to check out this mall called Vertis North. It's developed by this developer called Ayala Land. They're known for being more upmarket and upscale with their malls and condos. Christmas time is really festive in the Philippines, and part of that is carolers. So you'll see a group of carolers singing in the central area here.
Finally.
I poured 20.
You got the mango. I forgot what it's called. Mango.
Yeah, it's fine.
More of your time, and we will carry on with our presentation tonight. Once again, we are camera recording.
Here's the main building of Vertis North. You can see there's a Christmas tree here, and it has decorations throughout the mall. Actually, when I was here last year, my cousin's husband gave me his Anytime Fitness Pass, which is a gym chain. It was interesting to get a chance to work out here. It's pretty much the same as Singapore. We also have Anytime Fitnesses there. So I had chosen to come to Vertis North because it had Crisostomos, which is one of my favorite restaurants here. It has a menu of Spanish Filipino food, and it also has a dish called ceviche, or in Tagalog it's kinilaw, which is a Spanish dish originally, and it is one of my girlfriend's favorites, so we had to go here. I also like their paella, which is this rice dish, and then also their melon juice pitchers, which are pretty refreshing. This time I opted to get a mango juice. We also got fish, so here it is not deboned, and this is the kinilaw, as well as paella, and we topped it off with some fried chicken. I think it was too heavy of a meal, we could not finish it, and it's really heavy, but you know, it's Christmas Eve, so we went a bit overboard, and it was a good meal. I was actually here last year, and I know in this section of the mall there are some streetwear focused stores. There's a famous store called Titan. They have branches in BGC as well. It's kind of like a basketball streetwear store, and interestingly they also have some collaborations with Nike. There wasn't too much open here, so we decided to go to the supermarket. Along the way, we found this archery range and airsoft range, and then also a few stores that were open at the bottom of the mall. Outside, we saw this market area, and we ended up getting some of these desserts to give to my relatives for gifts for Christmas. Unfortunately, this year, a lot of them were actually abroad, going to visit other family. But normally in the Philippines, we'll have large parties with the relatives whenever there's Christmas. Here's the main section of the mall again. Our last stop for the night was the grocery store at the basement. The grocery store is a bit smaller than the ones at SM North EDSA, but it had the essentials. In particular, we were here for a pandesal, which is a type of Filipino bread. After that, we ended up going home. You can see here there are some cats. They have the same setup as BGC High Street, where there are some cats that are taken care of, and you can see there's a cat kind of post for them. And apparently there's a volunteer-led organization that takes care of these cats. After that, we wanted to go home, but it ended up being impossible to call a Grab here. I mean, it's Christmas Eve after all. We were so desperate to get a car, we ended up trying multiple phones at once, but we couldn't get a Grab at all. We ended up waiting there for around 30 minutes, and the only way we got home was my mom used the local method of finding a taxi, and as soon as they disembarked, offering money to get back to the condo. It ended up costing us around 2 to 3 times the Grab price, but due to it being Christmas Eve, it was worth it, as I'm not sure we would have gotten home just waiting for Grab. So that's a pro tip for you. Do not try to rely on Grab on Christmas Eve in the Philippines. And to be fair, that's probably the same anywhere on a busy holiday like Christmas Eve. Feel free to like and subscribe. We'll have more videos in Quezon City coming up soon.